6 months from now, someone will be living your life. The question is whether that person will be a stranger wearing your face. Same patterns, same limitations, same quiet desperation, or someone you would actually recognize as the person you were supposed to become. The distance between those two futures is not luck. It is not circumstance. It is the accumulation of choices made in moments that do not feel like they matter. Every day you are building one of those people. And the one you are building right now, if you are honest, is probably the stranger. The same thoughts circling, the same habits running, the same story repeating while you wait for something external to finally change what only internal work can touch. Everyone wants transformation, but almost no one understands what transformation actually requires. It is not information. You already know what you should be doing. It is not motivation. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings fade by Tuesday. Real transformation requires something far more uncomfortable: the willingness to die. Not physically, psychologically. The person you are right now cannot inhabit the life you want. They are structured wrong for it. Their habits, their defenses, their stories about who they are and what they are capable of. All of it is perfectly designed to produce exactly the results you are currently getting. You do not need to improve that person. You need to let them go. And letting go of who you are is indistinguishable from death to the part of you that will be released. There is a reason you have tried to change before and failed, and it is not weakness or lack of discipline. The attempts failed because they were negotiations with the old self, rather than replacements of it. You tried to add new behaviors to an old identity. You tried to change what you do while remaining who you are. But identity is gravitational. It pulls everything back to its center. You can force new actions for a while, through willpower, through pressure, through the temporary intensity of inspiration. But the moment the force relaxes, identity reasserts itself. You snap back to baseline. The only changes that last are the ones that change the baseline itself. And changing the baseline means becoming someone else. Jung understood that the psyche resists transformation with everything it has. The ego, the part you think of as you, experiences genuine change as annihilation. This is not metaphor. To the ego, its current structure is survival. The defenses it built, the stories it tells, the patterns it repeats, all of these were solutions to problems encountered earlier in life. They may no longer serve you. They may actively harm you. But the ego does not evaluate effectiveness. It evaluates familiarity. Familiar feels safe, even when familiar is destroying you. This is why people stay in situations that are obviously wrong. This is why patterns repeat across decades. The known suffering is preferable to the unknown becoming. The 6-month timeline matters because it is long enough to allow genuine restructuring and short enough to create urgency. Most people live in a vague someday that never arrives. They tell themselves they will change eventually, when circumstances are right, when they have more time, more money, more energy. But someday is a lie the ego tells to postpone its own death. Someday means never. 6 months means now. It means decisions made this week, this day, this hour. It means tolerating the discomfort of unfamiliarity because you have committed to a deadline that does not negotiate. The first month is about seeing clearly, not changing yet, seeing. You cannot transform what you do not understand, and you do not understand yourself nearly as well as you think. The stories you tell about why you are the way you are, why you do what you do, why you have failed in the past, these stories are not truth. They are defenses. They are the ego's explanations for itself. designed to protect the current structure from examination. Real seeing requires going beneath the stories. What are you actually afraid of? Not the surface fears, the deep ones. What do you believe about yourself that you have never questioned? What patterns repeat in your relationships, your work, your inner life, regardless of circumstances? These patterns are not accidents. They are expressions of an unconscious structure that runs your life while you think you are choosing. The second and third months are about disruption. Once you see the patterns, you must interrupt them. Not through willpower, but through environment. You become who you spend time with. You become what you repeatedly do. You become what you let into your mind. If your environment remains the same, your identity will remain the same, no matter how much insight you have accumulated. Change your inputs. Change your associations. Remove yourself from contexts that reinforce the old self, and place yourself in contexts that demand the new one. This is not comfortable. The ego will scream that you are abandoning yourself. In a sense, you are. That is the point. The fourth month brings the crisis. This is where most transformations fail, because this is where the old self fights back with everything it has. You will be flooded with doubt. You will be seized by the conviction that this is not working, that you were foolish to try, that the old way was not so bad. You will find yourself mysteriously drawn back to old habits, old relationships, old patterns of thought that feel like home precisely because they are the home you are trying to leave. Jung called this the encounter with the shadow, the parts of yourself that were exiled, now surfacing because the structure that kept them suppressed is weakening. Do not run. Do not interpret this as failure. This is the transformation happening. The chaos is the cocoon dissolving. Months 5 and 6 are integration. The new self is not built in a single dramatic moment. It is built through repetition, the daily choice to act from the new identity rather than the old, even when the old feels more natural, even when the new feels like performance. At first, it will feel like pretending. You will feel like a fraud, an imposter, someone playing a role they have not earned. This feeling is not evidence that you are doing it wrong. It is evidence that you are doing it right. The old self feels real because it has years of reinforcement. The new self will feel real when it has enough repetition to become automatic. Until then, you act your way into the identity you have chosen. You do not wait to feel ready. You will never feel ready. Readiness is a feeling, and feelings follow action. They do not precede it. 6 months is not arbitrary. It is approximately how long it takes to rewire patterns that have been running for years. It is long enough for the new neural pathways to strengthen, for the new habits to become default, for the new identity to stabilize enough that it no longer requires constant maintenance. But it is not magic. There is no point at which the work is done forever. You will spend the rest of your life maintaining the self you choose to become, or the rest of your life being pulled back to the self you defaulted into. The person you will be 6 months from now is being built right now, in this moment, with this choice. The old self is reading these words, hoping for transformation without death. But death is the price. And on the other side of it is someone you have not met yet, someone who has been waiting for you to stop negotiating and finally begin.